What's the most inappropriate thing you've witnessed at a funeral? The funeral home putting a random guy in my grandfather's casket, suit, glasses, and wedding band, while then admitting that they had misplaced my grandfather was fairly inappropriate for a funeral. At an open casket wake, a friend of the deceased attempted to give her a drink of single malt whiskey. She ended up being forcibly removed as she wouldn't stop and spilled a lot of the alcohol in the casket. It was as horrible and inappropriate as it was heartbreaking for everyone. Someone should have told her the morticians usually wire the deceased's jaws shut to keep the mouth from opening. Not a funeral, but my grandmother was on her deathbed. She was going in and out of consciousness. My arsehole father and his arsehole sister start arguing over who will get a wedding ring. Not for sentimental value, but because they wanted to sell it. Anyway, to make a long story short, they took the ring off and their mother came out of consciousness and the first thing she said was, "Where is my ring?" Fucking scumbags. My brother-in-law's girlfriend locked herself in a car, cried and screamed, threatening to kill herself at my father-in-law's funeral. She was fine 5 minutes later and explained to my in-law she did it because she's not used to not having all the attention. She thought her being pregnant would make people forget that the father died. At my great-grandmother's funeral, her son showed up to the funeral wearing khakis and his bright orange Tennessee Vols shirt. Then he started yelling at my mom when she asked him who the pallbearers were going to be, mainly throwing a fit about who was in the will. Mind you, we hadn't even left the funeral home yet and were literally needing to know who they would be at that very moment. Needless to say, we don't talk to that side of the family anymore. An estranged uncle driving past my grandmother's funeral playing Another One Bites the Dust. Edit to everyone apologizing for laughing or whatever. Please don't. It's no longer a sore point for me or my family. That uncle was suffering from a mental breakdown due to drug abuse and a high pressure job, and that combination eventually took its toll. It makes it easier to deal with than if he was just being a spiteful prick as we thought at the time. And then more cars are following him playing the same song. Then another one does, and another one does, and another one drives a bus. Oh fuck. My time to shine. Former mortuary industry worker. The worst is hard to call because I've seen a lot. Some honorable mentions. A rando walking on off the street and proceeding to help herself to coffee and oding in our bathroom. Didn't die. Did get narcaned. A couple fooling around in the urn casket showroom during the viewing. An angry old woman storming out of the bathroom with a fistful of tampons, screaming about how inappropriate we were for keeping them in there. Because there are children here, she threw them at the funeral director's face. They were kept in a cabinet, in a small basket, well hidden from public view. She was definitely refiling around to have found them. We were no longer allowed to keep our sanitary products in the restrooms after this. A grief-stricken mother tipping her son's casket while wailing and trying to climb inside. Less inappropriate than it was terribly sad. Caught a junkie relative digging deep into the pockets of the deceased looking for the family and his assumed money.